Hey everybody, it's Alex at Motoroso.com, and in this video we're taking a close-up look at the Alcon Big Brake Kit for the 21 and up Ram TRX. Now we're going to make a separate how-to installation guide video, and we're partnering with comedian, podcaster, and former UFC fighter Brendan Schaub for that installation. Now he recently launched a channel called Toontown where he's been documenting building out his ridiculous 1100 horsepower TRX, and he's got some big suspension mods coming for that build as well. And that's no pavement princess. He has all the plans in the world to take that thing off-road, including a Baja trip. And simply put, these stock brakes are simply not going to cut it once that thing is built out the way he's doing it. And frankly, for even a stock TRX, this brake kit upgrade is a phenomenal upgrade to improve your braking performance, which is definitely a little bit on the shy side. Now, we will, again, make a separate installation guide video. That'll be linked in the description of this video. We'll also put links to this product in the description of this video, and those links can take you over to Motoroso.com, where you can shop with us. And if you find this video helpful, please do, because that's our business model. That's what pays the bills and helps us make videos like this for you. You can also reach us there on live chat or call us toll free at 833-MOTOROSO. We love helping our customers with their builds. Now, similar to the Ford Raptor and Raptor R, when they built the Ram TRX, they didn't bother putting any major performance upgrades in the brakes. Now, for a truck that weighs 6,400 plus pounds and over 700 horsepower, that's pretty disappointing that it just has the same brakes as a standard Ram 1500. Now, those brakes are fine for daily driving, and of course, they're even made to handle towing some pretty significant loads. But when you're talking about brakes that under performance conditions, you want to avoid brake fade. And these stock brakes are definitely going to fade in extreme circumstances, which you don't want when you're out there hauling around in the desert. You want smooth, consistent, and high stopping power out of your brakes. Now, there are a variety of big brake kit options out there for the TRX, but for Brendan's build, we've selected the Alcon Big Brake Kit for a variety of reasons. The first of which being that they've actually designed this kit, like they do with many of their off-road applications, to fit under the OEM 18-inch wheels. Now, Brendan has aftermarket Method Racing 18-inch wheels, so these are going to fit just fine, but you can keep your stock wheels with these brakes, and there might even be some 17s that will work around this, depending on the barrel and spoke clearance, but it might get a little bit tight. But that's how you know that they've actually designed this kit for truly off-road applications, because you know, a lot of other big brake kits require you to bump up to a 20-inch wheel or larger, and you know what? You're not going to find a whole lot of serious off-road trucks running anything over an 18-inch wheel. Now, furthermore, Alcon is also a company that has its roots in hardcore racing, both in road racing, but they've really carved out a niche for themselves in the off-road racing segment. And that means that the technology that they've developed and tested in hardcore off-road racing conditions is going to trickle down into an attainable consumer product like this for your TRX. And then, of course, there's the actual performance upgrades that are going to come in this kit, starting with this upgraded caliper. Now, your stock caliper is a 2-piston floating pin slide style caliper. This is a 6-piston caliper, and it's going to have significantly larger fluid volume and clamping force with those 6 pistons. And because of the size of the caliper, it can accommodate a much larger pad in the caliper. Now, that means that the pad size here is nearly double the surface area of your OEM pad, which of course means more friction and more stopping power. Now, additionally, versus the OEM pin slide style caliper, which has a tendency to deaden pedal feel and soften the way your brake feels and gives you less feedback, this is a opposing piston design, and it's been designed with the fluid capacity to mate to the OEM master cylinder, which is going to give you a significant increase in the brake pedal feel, so you know what's going on with the brakes and feeling what's happening, as well as a significantly and noticeable reduction in pedal effort. Now, what that translates to is that in normal daily driving experiences, you're going to have reduced pedal effort and just an easier braking experience. But in performance situations, you're going to get significantly greater braking performance and pedal feel and clamping power with the same amount of pedal effort. Now, in true fashion, of course, Alcon has designed this for rugged off-road use. Deep inside there, in those pistons, they're using a hydrometer wiper seal to reduce the risk of fluid contamination and degradation of those seals, to make sure that even in dirt, grime, mud, sand, all that nasty stuff you're going to pick up off-road, that these brakes are going to continue to perform and operate smoothly and not run the risk of breaking down and degrading when you need them most. Now, also this kit, the calipers are only available in red, which 95% of people want, but if you want another color, this isn't going to be the option for you. Now, that is not just any red paint. They've finished that in a high temperature epoxy acrylic paint. That's going to resist corrosion. It's easy to clean. It's going to help it stay looking sharp. And then of course there is the high performance rotor that comes in this kit. Now the outer diameter of this rotor is not larger than stock. In fact, it's actually 2 millimeters, which is a tiny number, but it's 2 millimeters smaller. But the thickness of the rotor increases nearly 40%. Your OEM rotor is 30 millimeters. This is going to be a 42 millimeter thick rotor. Now that increase in the thermal mass of this iron rotor is going to help resist cracking and warping potential, and it's going to be able to manage the heat that's generated by the brakes and eliminate that brake fade over time. Now, of course, they also use a much better iron than you would find in an OEM rotor. This is going to be their proprietary iron alloy that's just much more stable under high temperature conditions. You also notice that this is a two-piece rotor design. Now, typically in two-piece rotors, you might find that somebody uses like an aluminum top hat and then an iron rotor to help reduce weight. But in this particular application, Alcon found that it's better to stick with iron top hat and iron rotor. And the reason for that is that you need that extra thermal mass and you need that structural rigidity for the weight of this vehicle and the kind of loads that this is under. Now, in their racing applications, they are using an aluminum top hat, but they found that those top hats had to be replaced far too frequently, much more frequently than a consumer application would want. So we think that probably makes a lot more sense to stick with an all iron setup here. And lastly, you'll notice that these rotors are not cross-drilled. Now, while cross-drilled looks cool and a lot of people look for that and want that, the bottom line is that that's not good for off-road applications. Mud, sand, grit can build up in those holes, and that can introduce foreign objects and materials into the braking surface area, affecting performance and accelerating wear dramatically. So they're staying away from that. Now, also cross-drilling a rotor tends to affect the structural stability of that rotor as well. And when you're dealing with a vehicle this heavy, you need as much structural rigidity as you can get. Now, this kit does not include upgraded brake lines because the team over at Alcon found that the Kevlar braided lines that come in the TRX actually already have great pedal feel and don't need to be upgraded. But it does include these machined stainless steel brackets. They're going to put that caliper exactly where it needs to be and be strong enough to stand up to the punishment, as well as all the mounting hardware that you need to get this kit installed. And on that note, we are going to be making a separate installation guide video, like I mentioned, with comedian and podcaster and former UFC fighter Brendan Schaub's 1100 horsepower TRX. We're very excited about that. We're going to put a link to that installation guide video in the description of this video next to the product links. So you can click this link here if you'd like to buy this kit. Those links are going to take you over to Motoroso.com where you can shop with us. And please do, if you found this video helpful, because that's what pays the bills around here. Now you can also reach us on live chat or call us toll free at 833-MOTOROSO. Now, if you've got stock steps on your TRX and you'd like to clean up the look while getting a power drop step, making it easier to get in and out of your TRX, check out this video right here and make sure you subscribe to the channel for all of our upcoming videos. Take care.